not saying right now. I'm just saying in general, like take pictures of the room, take pictures of the bitches. Yeah.
Wait, I don't want to do like the whole like permission stuff at the same time too. But, like,
Oh, that's a good point. Sick. Yeah. Okay. Testing, testing. There's a lot of testing, 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 testing. Hello, hello. It's like it's almost going into the red for me. So I think it's hard to tell from the background noise. All right. For those of you on Twitch, we will be starting in about 5 minutes. Huh? The music's low. Okay. I mean, it's Twitch. I don't care that much. So.
I mean, it's better to be too low than too high.
Yeah. I'm like, that's the problem we usually have on Twitch is the music is like blasting everyone's ears out. Alright, like another 3 or 4 minutes. Okay, let them trickle in. Oh, and edit the roles, like to replace the question marks with the actual names. Yeah. The show will start in 1 minute. Quiet on the floor. Ladies and gentlemen, guys, gals, non-binary pals, League of Legends players, and acceptable members of society, welcome to the 2020 Spring 2024 VGDev season! I'm your ringmaster and president, Chase O'Brien, joined up here by Fun and Friendship Minister Jade Spooner, Vice President Nick Unger, PR Esther Moon. Thank you guys so much for coming out to our first meeting of the season, and thank you to everyone on Twitch as well. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start with some information. I hope you really like QR codes because we're going to have a lot of them for you today. Then, the star of our show, the pitch is... Okay. And finally, we have some Ray's Pizza for everybody at the end. All right. First things first, if you are not registered with the club on Engage, please scan the QR code and do so. This is the only thing we will do on Engage is ask you to register officially. This is how Georgia Tech knows that we are alive. If we don't do this, our club will be disbanded. Boo. Give everybody a couple of moments just to go ahead and do that. All right, anybody else need the Engage QR code? Going once, going twice. All right, attendance. This is the most important one. Well, you could argue one of the most important ones of the day. This is how the College of Computing knows that we aren't dead and how we get money for awesome things like all of the pizza we have. Oh, did I copy-paste the one from last year's slides? And in fact, there's a new attendance form this semester that they haven't sent out on Teams. Okay, I will send the attendance out on Discord after this meeting, and you should all do it there.
Please. This is our biggest one of the semester.
Yeah. Speaking of Discords, here's the Discord QR code. If you are not in the Discord, please, please, please join the Discord. This is where everything in the club happens. As I said earlier, we don't really use Engage that much or at all. So to join all of the teams and interact with all of our cool members, join the Discord. All right. I introduced us earlier, but in case you weren't aware, again, hi, I'm Chase. I am your president. I am a third-year computer science major with threads in media and theory. I've worked on 11-ish VGDev games in the past, including Slider and Barcane.
Oh, we're going out of order. Hello, I'm Jade Spooner. I'm your Fun and Friendship Minister. I try to do the socials. Yeah, I think I've worked on like 5 VGDev games. You'll hear more about me later.
Hey y'all, my name is Nick. I'm your vice president this semester. I was Fun and Friendship Minister for the last 3 semesters, I want to say, in some capacity. I worked on Barcane in my first semester at VGDev. Really love the club. Excited to be back with you guys.
Hey y'all, I'm Esther. I'm a third-year CS major. Thirds are people media. I'm your PR. Basically, I make the club look good to the public. I'm in charge of the social medias and all that. And yeah.
Sitting in the audience is our treasurer, Jung.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him. Sorry.
Hi, Jung.
He's like with the spreadsheets or whatever.
Damn. Handing it back.
Oh yeah, what's up? Okay, so I am. Sorry, hold on. Okay, so I'm the PR gang. So I am very unique in that I am an artist for PR. That's huge. That hasn't happened since like. It's been a generation. Yeah, it's been a generation since that happened. So, but I'm still really fucking lazy. So, oh shit. Oh, no. Okay, hold up. Anyways, if you. Man, this sucks.
Anyone have a dry erase marker? Oh, we got it.
Oh, huge?
We're good. Okay, keep going.
Okay, so if you want to join the PR gang, make art for the club. Make art for the club, you know, making posters. You know, it's all the stuff that will go on the walls, and that's nice. Posters, videos, trailers. We kind of accept anybody. Even if you're not an artist, you could still do, like, stuff on Canva, I think it's called, and PictoChart. So, pretty open to everybody. And, yeah, handing it back to Chase, hopefully.
Thank you, Esther. All right, we have another exciting opportunity coming up next week that Nick is going to talk to you all a bit more about.
Awesome. Cool. So, any of you who were here this time-ish last year will remember Global Game Jam. Those photos are from when we hosted it here in the Klaus Atrium. Global Game Jam is happening again January 26th to January 28th from 5 to 5. So 48 straight hours of jamming. It's going to be happening at Georgia State. So it's going to be hosted by our friends at VGDev. Scan the QR code if you're interested. It's going to take you to the information page where you can register. That information page also has a link to the Discord server where you can meet people, find a team. If you've ever wanted to do a game jam, this is a great time to do it. The theme is going to be revealed at 4:30. They're going to have a little theme reveal party at GSU. So highly recommended. We're going to be there. Should be a great time. And I just quickly wanted to advertise after dinners as well if you haven't heard of them. So after dinners are another kind of social event that we do here in the club. They're described as chill work sessions. I think I've been to a couple and I've not gotten anything done. They are traditionally on Tuesdays from approximately 7 to 11 p.m. They're usually in the Kulk. They're not always in the Kulk. So again, highly important that you join the Discord, and if you check the socials channel, we'll usually tell you where they are. But it's a great opportunity for you to meet more members outside of just the club setting.
Before we talk about RecCon, I just want to note, to everyone coming in the back, welcome, but I ask that you please don't stand in front of the doorways. It is a fire hazard, so you can either stand along the back wall, or you can come sit up here in the front on the floor, but please don't block the doors. Thank you. Anyways, RecCon, if you haven't heard of RecCon is a Georgia Tech-run geek convention. A bunch of different clubs come together: VGDev, Magic Gathering Club, Dungeons & Dragons, Poke Jackets, Smash Brothers Esports, a whole bunch of different clubs all come together to put on one really awesome convention with lots of stuff to do. VGDev has a part there. We run what we call the VGDev Arcade, which, if you've been to any of our demos or showcases, works similarly, except with the added incentive of just like a real arcade. You can complete quests in the game for tickets and trade those in for prizes. So look forward to that. If you aren't in the public RecCon Discord, we have, yes, another QR code on there for you guys to scan and join. You can get your free tickets. VGDev will also be looking for volunteers for the VGDev Arcade to help us staff everything. So expect an announcement for that coming in the coming weeks on Discord. All right. One last thing for y'all. ATL Game Devs. This is a network of Atlanta-based game developers, students, hobbyists, indies, AAAs, who all get together to network and talk and show off all things games. So if you're interested, you can scan the QR code of the Discord. It is run by Kartik, former VGDev president and also generally amazing guy. So we have meetups once every month traditionally. Well, it used to be Thursdays, and then it was Tuesdays, and then switched back to Thursdays. But if you join the Discord, you can get more information, and this is a really great place to network with people in the industry and get to play cool games and show off the project you're working on. It's really valuable to kind of put them out there and get some feedback. All right, but I think we've had enough boring announcements for today. I think it's time for some pitches. But before we go there, VGDev veterans, I think you guys know what's coming next. And if you don't, we could do things predictably. We could do things organized and in order, but I think it's good to embrace the natural chaos of our world, right? As game developers, we never know what's coming next. Maybe there's a game-breaking bug. Maybe your build doesn't work. Maybe somebody really doesn't like your art. We never truly know what to expect. And that's why we need to instill that fear of chaos into our team leads. So without further ado, it's time to spin the wheel! Alrighty. If you don't know how this works, I'm going to count down from 3, and then we're all going to yell, "Spin that wheel," like you just did. Or if you didn't do it, now you know. On 3, 1, 2, 3, spin that wheel! All right, our first presenter will be Libby.
Thank you.
Careful, this is wired, so don't go beyond.
Okay, understood. All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Libby, and I'm presenting a game called To the First Power. Raise your candidate to the top. And, oh, thank you very much. Awesome. Okay. Well, but before I sell you on a game, I should introduce myself. I'm Eleanor Mather, but I go by Libby most of the time. That's just, you know, if I send an email, that's why I have a different name. There. Okay, CS. I'm a CS major. I'm in SysArc and People Threads. I worked on a few VGDev games. I used to do some other things. And, yeah, I'm also extremely gullible. And I most certainly like mascots, which is part of why I pitched this game. Yeah, that's me on the bottom there. I did not set the mouse trap, unfortunately. I did fall for it, but my hand grew back, so it's fine. Okay, so here is the premise. The king has fallen, and like every generation of rulers before him, the successor is chosen via competition. Any citizen is a candidate, and whoever reaches the throne of the castle first wins. You're a lone traveler, and you stumble upon a totally innocent, definitely innocuous, and not suspicious creature, and you're like, why not? You know, this one will be king now, which is great. But you know, it's a very tricky competition, so you need to make sure that the creature that you raise is powerful enough to fight your opponents, and you choose powers along the way. All right, so gameplay loop. This is not a roguelike. The options for power-ups are the same. Are the same. Nothing wrong with roguelikes. I love roguelikes. I just it's a misconception that's common. Yeah. Okay. So basically, there are pit stops. It's like a gas station, but instead of a gas station, it's you choose what power your creature gets. You choose your upgrade, and then basically the creature will change its look depending on the upgrade you pick. And so the pit stops are top down, and then the battles are sort of like Toho or Rabbit and Steel, where it's sort of vector art. Yeah. All right. So, oh yes, other logistics. It's going to be on Godot 4. We're using Dialogue Manager, because Dialogue on Godot 4, it tends to take longer than you'd expect, and I don't want that to be a big chunk of the development time. And we're using Trello and GitHub for management. Yay. All right. Scope-wise. All right. So, my goal is that we'll have 2 pit stops and 2 battles. That seems like a small amount. Oh, only 2 sections to pick power-ups and 2 battles with which to see what your power-ups do. Here is the issue. Since the creature changes design, depending on what power you choose, and picking different power-ups will also have a different design, that means already, with only 3 options in the first pit stop and 2 options in the second pit stop, there are 10 forms already, including the first form, which is only if you want to, do the game without any picking any sort of modifications to the creature. So, yes. So that's why I'm going for a smaller scope. Yeah, art direction, I'm thinking, so I'm a big fan of like old school Tamagotchi. This isn't like, I have like an art inspiration like document. And then in terms of like human designs, because you'll be fighting against humans, it's sort of like this sketchier style there. Yeah. Also, if I'm going too fast or too slow, let me know. Okay, music-wise, right now, oh wow, that's a typo, but that's okay. Okay, I'm thinking just 2 songs, like, and the main inspiration would be Pokemon Mystery Dungeon wise, because, one for the pit stop, one for battles. Depending on the number of musicians we have, maybe we can add more, but I sort of want to stick to a smaller scope and then expand later. The buffs to the candidates have been decided, but we haven't like decided on how exactly they're going to be implemented. Like, oh, like the hitbox is smaller, but like how small is the hitbox going to be? Stuff like that. Most of the design decisions though, since the battles are sort of bullet hell-ish, the programming like for making a bullet hell, like the actual patterns, is actually pretty simple. So I think it'd be fun. It's a fun opportunity to experiment with those and see like what makes a bullet hell more or less difficult. I have a gameplay like demo/demonstration. It is all placeholder art though, so okay, let's take a look. Will it load? Okay, here we go. Oh boy, oh wow, there's a little creature following you around. Wow, oh boy. I wonder if it'll change. Oh no, well it's stronger now, but oh it's so big. Is it gonna be able to dodge anything? Okay, well now it's super fast and you can see it from the menu. And yes, it doesn't resemble any hedgehog at all. And then, yeah.
all right. And then that sort of one bullet pattern. It's actually really, I won't explain, it's sort of like you have a rotator, yeah. And then, I hope I don't hit the video by accident. Okay, okay, I wanted to go fast to leave time for questions, but I may have gone so fast I didn't explain enough. So please ask me if you want to clarify anything or if there are any follow-up questions. Yay. Oh. Hello. Oh, yeah.
Also, repeat the questions into the mic.
Oh, yes. I was asked what kind of tasks are available for team members to pick up. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I made, let me go back in time a little bit. So task-wise, each creature form needs sort of a separate design. They're sort of simplistic since they're designed off of like old Tamagotchi art style-wise, but I would need someone for, well, so there's a lot of art in terms of like the sprite work, so a lot of artists for that. I only want 2 pieces of vector art for each form of the creature, like for the fights, just because I feel like a lot could add up over time. Yeah, in terms of programming, there's sort of like actually programming in the buffs, you know, like, making the hitbox smaller actually when you pick that at the pit stop, stuff like that. Yeah, so art. And then design-wise, as I said, sort of like integrating the buffs and making sure that they're balanced right. Also making sure the bullet patterns make sense, and like, oh, the second fight probably should be a little bit more difficult than the first one, stuff like that, because you have more upgrades. Yeah. Yes.
Sorry, how do you, you might have said this before, how do you win a battle? You like shoot, or you just have to survive?
You will be able to shoot. I believe, yeah. You will be able to shoot, sort of like one of the upgrades is having like higher sized bullets so you don't have to aim as much. Yeah. So you do need to survive, but you also need to take down the opponent. Thank you for asking. Yes. Well, so it's a bullet pattern, but no, as far as I know. But maybe one of the creatures, depending on like what build you give it, you never know. Yeah. Oh yes. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's at the very end. Yeah, it's in. Oh no, please don't play. Okay, there we go. Yeah, there's the Discord in the sign-up sheet also. Yeah. Thank you for asking. And if there are any other questions, that's totally fine. And if not, you can always ask me later. Yeah.
Give it up for Libby, everybody. All right. I'd also like to mention, as each game gets pitched, their respective channels in the main VGDev Discord will also be revealed. So if you aren't able to scan any QR codes, the links to everyone's Discords and everything are going to be in there as well. But anyways, you guys know what time it is. It's time to spin that wheel. Give it up for Alex!
I'll get it.
Hold on. I'll take it from here. I have to preload it. Okay. Let me get it the volume down. Sorry, how do you control the volume? How do you control the volume?
Like the stream volume or the room volume?
The room volume. I need to turn it pretty low.
Okay, that's what you're doing.
Okay, good. That's too low. I'm testing the sound, guys. I don't want to blow your ears off. We go a little bit higher, a little higher, a little higher. That's pretty good.
You're going to have to run that again because I have to check the Twitch sound.
All right. They actually look fine. It's in the green.
I'll turn it down a little.
Wait, isn't that up?
Okay. All right.
All right, one more time just for good measure. Good stuff. Okay. this. Ladies and gentlemen, folks of VGDev, my name is Alex Yang and I've got a new game for you. Let's take a look. Okay, let's see. I am a third-year CS major and I'm graduating this semester, so this is actually my last semester here. I used to be VGDev VP, but I stepped down so I can make this game. I've worked on 10 VGDev games before, and I co-led Dive, which is this game. You might have seen this one before. Okay, so Hammurabi is a game that really makes you feel like you can't get a job. I can't. And I know that a lot of other people can't either. Yeah. Unemployment, let's go. So, you play as a 20-something-year-old gardener who can't get a job, so she punches her way up through Hammurabi Tower in order to take revenge on the CEO for his unethical business practices. It's kind of like Neon White and Pizza Tower in that the enemies are all there, but they're like, you know, they kind of don't do a lot. Hammurabi is a game that's supposed to make you feel like a badass. So, it should have a really high skill ceiling, but a pretty low barrier to entry, with a big focus on combat. Let's take a look at the core moveset. Chase, you might want to stay there. I got a couple more interesting words for you. Alright, your first one is just a grapple. It just works just like Spider-Man. When you shoot out your grapple, time slows down so you can actually see where you're going. Next one, you can pull enemies towards you with your grapple and fling them across if you're good enough. And your last one, if you press right click, you can punch. Punching actually gives you recoil if you connect. And this system is pretty simple, but it's actually very, very fun. Here's a move that I like to call the jackhammer. I like how I just take this guy and throw him off a cliff. This one is called the cannon event. It is based off the move that Miguel O'Hara does on Wild. You guys know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. And this last one is me just going bowling. I grapple here, I take this guy, recoil off, shoot him to the back, do the same thing with the crate, take this guy, and that's a pentuple kill. This game is so much fun already that I have spent 15 hours in the test room just playing around, not working on my game. Alright, so before we get into what I need from you, let's lay down some ground rules. To work on this game, do you need to be charismatic? No. Do you need to be smart? Nah. Do you need the 3-year? No, fuck that. All I'm asking from you is that you're nice and you have fun and you're willing to try new things. If you feel overwhelmed, if you feel like you don't have any experience or you're underqualified, come talk to me. It's probably just imposter syndrome talking, but I promise I'll help you and make it work. For designers, the core systems are pretty much done. You guys already saw. So really all that's left is the mechanic design and the level design. For mechanics, the bar is pretty much in space. Anything goes. But we can only take the top 3 mechanics because our art budget is so low. So I'm talking like a skateboard that you can grapple onto and then ride, rail grinding, or something else that you guys come up with. For level design, Hammurabi Tower is connected through a series of floors. You enter through an elevator and kill all the enemies and then exit through another elevator. Everyone gets to design 1 or 2 floors. You can kind of split it up how you want, and the floors are pretty big, so there's a lot of room to express yourself. For art, our game is pixel art with 480 by 270p resolution, and I want it to look something like this. So make the building look imposing. We don't have enough budget for a human villain, so instead what I want to do is make the environment become the villain. Make it look dystopian, make it look greedy, make it look evil. Make the furniture corporate. Make everything look like it has a place. The interior designer for Hammurabi Tower knew exactly what they were doing. Everything is still pretty soulless. But most importantly, make all the enemies look goofy. They're all robots, so you should feel no mercy and no regret when you kill them. Make them look hapless and make it funny when they die. Turn them into paste. For programming, there's a bunch of systems that we need. I mean, you can read this yourself. You know, health, aim assist, better cameras, actual character aiming. But the most interesting part is AI. I really only need 3 types of enemies with a very simple AI. But if someone wants to make a really cool game AI, talk to me. We don't have a lot of art budget, but we can swap some colors around and make something work. for tech art. Tech art is the art of making something look pretty with code and math. So, if you are a programmer that doesn't know how to draw, or you're an artist that doesn't know how to code, come on down and give me juice. Give me anything your heart desires. Give me explosions as big as your body. Give me particles as large as your head. Give me an after image. Give me speed rings. Give me fog, smoke, shaders, whatever you want. We can make it happen if we work together. Let's see. Just help me make the player feel cool. For music, this stuff. Make me want to make punch fascists at 300 miles per hour. I like this song a lot. It's a little goofy, but the energy is already there. No vocals, obviously, because unless you want to, I can't sing. But when you guys get home, look up Jet Set Radio and Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. 2 games with amazing soundtracks that I absolutely adore. Gotcha. All right, so Hammurabi is a game where you can grapple and you can punch. It's supposed to make players feel very powerful, and our first meeting is from Saturday from 3 to 5 in Cork 323 or online. One more thing, yeah, you don't need any experience, so come on down. You guys, Hammurabi is my last game for VGDev. It's my magnum opus. It's my hocus pocus. It is more Spider-Man than Spider-Man, and it's more punchy than Pizza Tower. And if that sounds cool to you, I'll see you in the Discord. Who's got questions? Reynard. What? Oh, Uni. Will. I actually don't know. I'm gonna guess like 30, 40. On the back? Sorry, I can't hear you. If you're not able to make meetings in person or online, I'm gonna record the onboarding meeting. We're actually gonna release a lettuce, so you can watch that after it's done. I'm gonna release a lettuce meet so that we can find a good time to have meetings for everyone. We're not gonna have that many meetings though. Alan? For sound effects, honestly, I don't plan on having a lot of sound effects. I want like a few really good sound effects because obviously the punch needs a good one, the grapple too, but after that, pretty much everything is up in the air. I'm not super focused on sound effects because it's pretty difficult, but we'll see what we can do.
Why is the name Hammurabi?
The CEO is Hammurabi, like actual Hammurabi. Like the actual guy, like the king from Mesopotamia. Yes. So, what? So, it's a complicated question. Really, I want to focus on the combat. Everything else should mostly be pretty much polished. I want to get as much done as we can, but I'm probably going to have a pretty busy semester. We'll see what we can do. Talk to me later. I think that's all the time we've got for now. But again, come down to the Discord. If you can't get it right now, it'll be at the end. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, Alex. All right. Before we spin the wheel again, I have to ask to everyone in the back, thank you guys for coming in, but please do not sit directly in front of the doorways. It is a fire hazard. So feel free. You can either move further along or scooch along the back row or come sit up front. We don't bite.
Yeah, there's a lot of room in the front if you want to sit there.
And with that being said, 3, 2, 1. Spin that wheel!
Step into Wix Studio.
This is what I want out of my music. Not this, sorry. Hello. Hopefully you're getting a little bit of a spooky vibe going on, or else I'm not doing my job properly. So hello, you've already met me before, but I've been up here the whole time. I'm Jade. I'm part of leadership. I'm a CS major, but it's people media, so it's fake. I've been in VGDev all of college. I was a production lead on Willow. I was a programming lead on Outcast. And some of my favorite games are Outer Wilds, Silent Hill 2, and Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. It is a perfect game. If you disagree, we can meet outside. So let's just jump into it. This is Spindleton. It's 1979. In the quaint, like a rural area in the good old US of A. With it being 1979, disco's still hot. VHS is on the rise. Reagan isn't in office yet. All in all, things are pretty good. Now this is King. He's about to give this town the worst night of their lives. So, I'm going to throw a lot of buzzwords at you, but in one sentence, Bloodelic is a 3D isometric turn-based stealth a reverse horror game with a retro low-poly aesthetic where you play as a small monster attempting to feast on the town's inhabitants. So let's break this down a little bit. So think like the reverse horror aesthetic of Carrion, where you are like in power the entire time, mixed with the systemic gameplay and sort of puzzle making of Hitman, along with the replayability of the levels, mixed with the sort of isometric turn-based grid movement system of games like Fights in Tight Spaces or XCOM, mixed with the low poly retro aesthetic of Alone in the Dark or other low poly games like Night of the Consumers, essentially early PC, PS2 era graphics. PS2 era graphics in my indie game. Whoa! Quick overview. Let King feast. He's just a little guy, so you need to be stealthy to succeed. He's just a small blob man. He can't do a lot, and if he gets caught, it's going to be bad. So, you need to use the abilities, items, and interactables in the environment in order to perfect your run. It's pretty sick. You are smart, they are dumb. There's going to be NPCs, humans throughout the levels, essentially acting like horror movie victims. They aren't too smart. So, you are going to be using the turn-based mechanics in your advantage in order to plan out your attack, plan out your goal, and if you fail, you can just retry. That's the entire point. It's essentially going to be an open level where you need to take out as many people as possible. And because the NPCs are very predictable, the same thing will happen on every run. So, because this is just a small town in 1979, it's pretty normal places, but King can walk on the walls. That allows for verticality, connectivity, and some good old stealth. So the art direction I kind of want to go for is low poly with VHS post-processing. It's got a late 70s, early 80s environment, so that like cozy home feel, drive-thrus, discotheque, stuff like that. But with the neons of the 60s, aka the delic part of Bloodelic, as in psychedelic, because that has the influence. And basically I'm pulling on sort of the trippy colors of like giallo films like Suspiria or more recent psychedelic movies like Mandy, along with that sort of like art of the time. Anyway, I'm going to show you my prototype, and because it's a lot of core systems and a lot of back-end, not a lot of front-facing stuff right now, so I'm going to try to make it a little bit entertaining. So you can move the camera. You can zoom in and out, which is pretty nice. You can move the camera a little bit. You can also click on the little guy that's a complete placeholder, and you can see that you can make a path. And what's this? Oh my god! It's moving? What the hell? Yeah, so that's most of the front end stuff, but I can't tell you how many hours I put into the back end just to get this to work, because as it turns out, all games that are grid-based want to just focus on a 2D plane. If you want to try to create a 3D grid, anyway, this is the part where we need you. Yes, you out there in the audience and on Twitch. I need your skills badly. For programmers, I'm looking for slightly more experienced people because especially I need an AI sub-lead. Dear Lord, we're going to be starting that week 1, running out of the gate. That needs to be done. I also want a UX sub-lead because UX with games like XCOM, it's extremely important to make sure that the feel of going through the UI is good and that the entire game feel is smooth and nice. Also, we're going to be working on tools and making sure that the system architecture is good, because if you have systemic puzzle gameplay, if your architecture is bad, you're in for a nightmare of a time, and not in the good one. Beginners, you can also join. There will be tasks for you, and I'm also going to try to pair you up with someone in order to try to get some paired programming going on, essentially a buddy that you're able to ask questions and be able to help with for tasks. And priority number 1 is a clean code base, because again, dear Lord, if it's messy, things are going to get bad very quick. And you can join me in beating your head against the wall. Artists, I'm gonna, please, I don't know, Art, if you can see, there's a lot of placeholders. It's real bad right now. So 3D artists, you want to join so bad. It's low poly. It's 3D. It's pretty fun, right? It's easy entry, and also you're gonna need to make some models. It'll be fun. So also we're gonna need some 2D artists in order to get the UI going, and I'm looking for an art sublead and then specifically a UI sublead, because again, I want the UI to look good. Tech artists, you're gonna make some fun stuff. I want to go sort of nutty with it. I want to make stuff where, because King is inspired by ferrofluid, I want to be able to make it look liquidy. It's able to stick to surfaces and sort of contort, have the spikes sort of rotate as it moves. I want some dramatic lighting. Again, I want some like super saturated weird stuff going on, even though it doesn't make any sense in the context of the level, because that's the whole point of the sort of giallo lighting going on. I also want some VHS post-processing. Anything else you would be cool. Go nuts. For level design, we're going to be doing this in Minecraft. It's grid-based, so I have a Minecraft server set up. You're going to be playing with verticality, connectivity, hiding places, interactable placements, and NPC placements. It'll be pretty cool. Musicians, I've forgotten about you. I want some ambient distorted tracks like you're hearing right now, Silent Hill vibe. However, there is one thing that I really want. That's a disco song. If you make a disco track for my game, it will end up in the game. I want it so bad. Anyway, does anyone have any questions? Unity. I forgot to put that on the slides, but it is in Unity. Yes, there's going to be 3 levels, each with more increasing rooms, like first level 1 to 2 rooms, second level 3 to 4 rooms, third level 5 to 6 rooms, essentially. I want high connectivity, high replayability. Anyone else? I saw a hand. I want there. If we can get far enough along, I really want it. What? Like separate rooms, like a bathroom, a living room, like if you make a house, sort of that thing. Say that again? I'm mainly focusing just on low poly graphics. Anyway, so if you want to join, please join the Discord right there. The interest form is also right there. Please scan both of them and fill them out. The interest form will also be in the link in the VGDev server. And additionally, the first meeting is going to be, I should also go back for you to be able to scan the QR codes, but the first meeting is going to be Sunday 2:30 to 4:30 and Colk 2:45. It should be pretty fun. I don't have exciting music like Alex because this is kind of a chill thing, but you know, yippee!
Everyone give it up for Jade! So I know what I'm gonna do next, but does anyone in the audience want to take a guess what I'm gonna do next? Do you guys remember that thing you learned in kindergarten where you're silent and you raise your hand until you're called on? Evan. It's time to spin that wheel! Woo! Yeah! Everybody, please give a warm welcome to Allison! And not Other Chase, he can't be here.
Other Chase died in the previous game, unfortunately. That's okay. We have his Michael Reeves recording. That's what I'm calling it now. Okay, so My game is called Quantum. Woo! Featuring me and other Chase. Yeah, okay. Cool. So my name is Allison. I'm currently a master's student, and I really love to crochet. Also the TA for video game design, so if you're in that class, that's me. And I was the president of VGDev, like you might know me from that. Yeah. It's okay, I didn't die. Anyway, Chase, he is a master student as well, and some people would call him a yo-yo master. Wait, where's my? Yeah, some might call him a yo-yo master, and he's also the TA for info security. But I'm not gonna introduce him. He can introduce himself. Can we make this video like 1.25 speed? I'm sorry, Chase. Yeah, make him faster. Is there sound? Wait, is that audio? What happened to
We're good. Hold on. He's taking you by the throat.
Sorry, I don't know why it's kind of quiet. Yeah, there's background.
Hi, my name is Chase, and I'm one of the co-leads for Quantum this semester. So I'm actually really sorry that I can't be there right now. Well,
Sorry,
not
Chase.
right now, because right now is actually a few days before pitch day, so pitch day's in like, a few days from now, so now is a few days behind than now. Anyways, so the whole reason I can't be there today is because I'm actually going to UGA to practice, well, this. So that's enough excuses. A little bit more about me. I'm currently a master's student studying machine learning, and actually one of the head TAs for Security. So if you are taking InfoSec, then I really hope you enjoy the class. But yeah, so for my hobbies, one of which you just saw, I do Chinese yo-yo. I'm also pretty amazing at guitar, you know. Now, I know this entire video kind of makes me look like a korakoheto. But seriously, I am just a normal dude. So I'm really excited to work with you guys this semester. I really hope you join Team Quantum. We have cats and good vibes, which is what everybody needs these days. So yeah, if you are excited and if you do want to join the team, I'll see you on Sunday. But until then, thanks for watching this weird video, I guess. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you, Chase, for that video. Can you just hit next? I don't know. Exciting. Give me the next slide. Okay, enough about us though. I'm gonna actually talk about Quantum now. So the story focuses on two different worlds, one of which is like a ancient Japanese samurai fantasy, and the other one is a futuristic cyberpunk kind of city. And they're facing a crisis. Their worlds are merging and colliding together in a parallel universe issue, as you can see in the Spider-Verse picture. And everyone's having merge conflicts with one another, which is quite the problem, man. But for our two MCs, they've been able to stay separate for some reason, and they've actually gotten the new ability to quantum lock with one another. And now they're off on this quest to just kind of figure out, why is this happening to their world? Who knows? So let's jump into that. So the game itself is a 2D pixel platformer that's co-op. We're planning on having platforming as well as making the game networked so you can play on two different computers. And we're also going to add some NPCs with dialogue for world building, as well as the ability for players to quantum lock, as well as some sort of environmental overlay. So the first three are pretty self-explanatory, but these last two, you're like, Allison, what is that? Like, what are you talking about? So quantum locking is basically the ability to share momentum between the two players. A player can quantum lock to the other player, and whenever that other player dashes or jumps, that momentum is shared to the first player. So you can see this in the GIF I included. The girl is the only one actually getting inputs. The boy is just quantum locked onto her, so every time she dashes, he'll also move and get that momentum. So we can see the dash right there, and she dashes, and then when she jumps, he also gets the momentum. Whee! Very fun. And then for the environmental overlay, it's basically, so we have two different worlds, so each player will see a different world, kind of like in Bokura, and the levels themselves will also be different. So you can see here that there's translucent parts for each side. Right now it's split screen. Those translucent sides are basically just the other level, just overlaid on top of yours. And you can also see the other players, so you can see the little girl jumping and the little guy. They're just like more translucent, very interesting kind of vibe. So these are the different worlds that we've been focusing on. This is just some concept art that we have for the game, kind of like the vibes for the background. So it's kind of like more dark, dystopian backgrounds with the samurai and the cyberpunk on both screens. But the actual game itself is pretty comfy with the 2 cute characters. So if you're interested in joining for programming, we're using Unity. For art, we're just doing 16 by 16 pixel art. And then we're having a pretty small game, just a 640 by 480 window size. If you don't know what that is, it's basically the Undertale on one-shot window sizes. I just like small windows. And then for music, we're also hoping that each world has its own track just to add to each player kind of vibes a different vibe with some Japanese instruments for the samurai one and some more high-tech sounding thingamajigs. I don't know what these instruments are called for like the futuristic cities, but each track will have the same theme and motif just to keep the whole game pretty like cohesive. Some similar games, I mentioned Bokura before. I think that's probably the closest game you can find to our game. It has 2 different levels, and the art and vibes is kind of like what I like for this game. And then we also have Bread and Fred, which is just the co-op experience. Celeste is just the platforming, and then One Shot is also kind of dystopian with the world colliding. Cool, so if you're interested in joining, we really need artists. We need a lot of environmental artists because I can't draw backgrounds, but we also need like tiles and, yeah, the background and tiles. But we also need like the NPCs, so if you're interested in just designing anything fun, any fun characters based on our themes, we need NPCs, and then the character arts kind of exist, but if you ever want to redraw them, I guess let me know, and we also need UI. We also need level designers because all of our games is kind of like Celeste. You have different rooms that you progress through for these levels. And again, musicians, background music, and sound effects. And we have some tech art stuff too for like the dashing, mostly particle systems though. We do still need programmers, not as much work. We have networking if you're interested in working on that, and some player movement stuff, but it's not too much, so don't expect too much. And lastly, we could use some dialogue writers for the NPCs. Cool. And if you're new, feel free to join. We're really nice here. I really want to make this like a cohesive, fun experience. Woo. So, our first meeting is this Sunday, January 21st from 3 to 5 p.m. in Colk 323. Exactly 24 hours from Alex's first meeting. Cool. This is the end of the presentation. You might be wondering, what happened to the worlds? Well, at the end of the game, the players will see a box, and they'll open the box, and they'll either see a dead cat or a live cat. All right, I'm taking questions now. Yes. So I got asked, will meetings be always on Sundays from 3 to 5? No, that'll just be their first meeting. I'm looking more on Saturday, but I'm probably going to send out a let us meet to determine a better meeting time. So will the opening meeting be recorded? Probably not, but if you have any questions or want to get onboarded, just DM me or Chase and definitely join the Discord. We'll be at least sending out notes. I just don't want to record it. Yes. Are electrons particles or waves? I don't know. I only know cats. Like, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna take one more. Yes. Do the cats have guns? Well, you don't actually know because that's kind of the end of the game. You see the cats. It's up to you to decide if they have guns or not. That could be it.
All right, everybody give it up for Allison! All right, let's do this one more time. 3, 2, 1, spin that wheel! I know, I'm working on it. Before that, please welcome David to the stage.
Oh, thank you. All right, so hello everyone. My name is David. My game's called Tip, and if you don't recognize me, that's okay, because I don't recognize myself either. This is my first time leading. This is my second semester here at VGDev, so I'm really honored to leadership for letting me do this. I joined last semester as a second-year transfer student. My threads are in Infonet and Media, and I consider myself to be kind of a generalist, but I specialize in programming and design mainly. And I guess if you want to know a fun fact about me, I really like Davey Wreden. If you don't know who Davey Wreden is, he does things like the Stanley Parable, the Beginner's Guide, two really great games. I recommend playing both of them. But less about me, more about Tip. What is it? I'm going to throw more buzzwords at you. It's a narrative-driven 3D puzzle platformer. If you don't know what a 3D puzzle platformer is, think games like Portal, right? You go from one place to the other by using your core mechanics to navigate the puzzle. You follow yourself, Ego, through a journey as you restore balance to the world around you. Meanwhile, Shadow, this antagonist figure, is trying to sabotage you and disrupt the balance of the world. It's heavily inspired by Jungian psychology, and if you don't know what that is, yeah, that's okay. I didn't either for a very long time. It's not you. But that's cool and all. You're clinically insane. You love talking about Jungian psychology, but what actually happens in your game, David? You get to control time. You get to rewind time, you get to stop time, you get to resume time, which is arguably the most important part of it. You can move stuff and stop time to get things to where you normally wouldn't be able to get them to, based on the way that the level's designed. You can also rewind time to move yourself to unreachable areas by having objects push you into areas that you couldn't access normally. So if you're thinking for like other games that are similar to this, you can think of like Toho, you can think of Recall from Tears of the Kingdom. But for that last one, think of it more in like the entire world is rewinding and the entire world is stopping, right? Some more inspiration and references. Just what is a 3D puzzle platformer is basically my gameplay references. Portal 2 and Superliminal are really, just in recent memory, probably some of the hugest 3D puzzle platformers ever released, I guess. For art and look, I really like what Superhot does. Solid colors, flat colors basically, very low poly in some aspects, and just overall just geometric, right? The music right now you're listening to, it's called Cold Iron Warming Sun. I really love this track. It's from Honkai Star Rail. Shout out Chris. And it plays in Bella Box somewhere, I forget where it is. But I really like how melancholic it is, so if that's your type of deal, that's the entire game, honestly. So this sounds really cool and all, but do you actually have a game to show? The short answer is yes. The long answer is there's still some work that needs to be done. The even longer answer is, can we like back out and come back and there's music for it? The even longer answer is that's probably just better if I just show you. Yeah. So you see, there's no way that you can possibly get up there, and if you fall off, you just get sent back. But let's say that you want to try and get up there. How will you do it? Well, there's this respawning platform that keeps coming back, and you can rewind it to ride it all the way back up to the top. Now, right now, I do have it implemented for only each object that is, again, like a work in progress thing. But in principle, working for each object should eventually be able to be implemented into working for the entire world at once. It's not over yet, because I still need people. As you can tell, core systems are very much a work in progress, and I need some help. This is a more advanced kind of thing, so if you're looking to get your feet more than just a little bit wet, you can come help me out. We are going to be using Godot version 4.2.1 and C#, so if that's your wheelhouse, come on down. If it's not your wheelhouse, but you're still looking to get your feet wet in Godot, or C# for that matter, I will have some beginner tasks out. Think basic puzzle elements like switches, boxes, buttons, things that you would find in like the first level of Portal, for example. In general, just help me write some code that's not completely garbage and has thought put behind it, because I don't have a brain. Design, early on, anything is welcome for like maybe the first 1 or 2 weeks. You can help me come up with puzzle ideas, you can help me tweak the balance. Long term though, what I'm really looking for is level designers, puzzle designers. Because a puzzle game, it needs puzzles. That's pretty much it. For audio, I will be using Fmod. Anyone with expertise in that, highly appreciated. If not, I still got it. Music is the reason we're using Fmod. I really like vertical orchestration, so imagine you're going into a level for the first time, there's like barely any instruments playing, and then as you progress through the level and as you hit certain key checkpoints, certain instruments will come in, and eventually when you get to the end of the level, it'll form this huge grand track that is way different than when you started out in the level. That's kind of what I'm going for. Again, melancholic. Sound effects, also really cool. I need those. So if you want to do stuff for that, abstract, futuristic stuff, totally in the wheelhouse. And if you really want to, there's some voice acting on the table. We'll talk about it. Just reach out. Most importantly, right now, there is no unified art direction. I have some general constraints, which I have listed there. Again, think super hot. Again, think I need shaders, like they do in like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, to demonstrate that like stuff is happening to these stop time and rewinding time. But besides that, the general art direction of the game isn't really there. So I am actively looking for an art sub-lead. Okay. I don't want to touch on this for too long. I will be streaming the process of my own personal stuff for tip on Twitch, so you can come ask questions, treat it like an informal work session, treat it like office hours. I don't care. Just join the Discord server if you're more interested in that. But yeah, here's the Discord server, here's the interest form. Our first meeting will be Sunday, January 21st at 12 p.m. noon in the Colk 325. Same information is in the main server, but I will leave it open to questions now. Yes, Logan. I played it last night. You were there. You booted up the game for me, and I played it. It didn't work on your laptop. We had to play it on mine. Anything else? Yeah. Probably not. Yeah. Balance. You're trying to, the whole storyline, if I can go back to it, I don't really, basically, yeah, you're trying to write the balance of the world by getting from point A to point B, because you're trying to confront this shadow figure who's trying to throw the world out of balance. So your tip is like a constant tipping of the scales. Yep. Probably not. That one's even less likely than the guns, honestly. I'm sorry. Yeah. Jungian psychology. There was the whole model of the soul thing. I can probably here. That whole image, yeah, that's the inspiration for the naming. Yeah. Last question. So the reason that you're in these levels to begin with, the reason you're trying to navigate from one point A to point B in the level is because as you're completing the level, that inherently, it's been thrown out of balance when you first arrive in the level, and then when you are going through the level, you're correcting the balance by getting from point A to point B.
All right, everybody give it up for David! All right. There will be links to everything in the VGDev Discord. Yeah. All right. Now look, I know it's been a long day. You've heard lots of amazing pitches. We've spun the wheel 5 whole times. But I think this is the most important round yet. So, when I count down from 3, I want you guys to yell spin that wheel as loud as you possibly can. One last time. In 3, 2, 1! Spin that wheel!
And the legacy continues. Yes, we last.
It's his fault. He's fired.
Nothing's changed, really.
I'm assuming I should click this.
Yeah, click the link. It'll just be like that.
Background? So, like,
Alright, get yourself in there.
Welcome to Sylvie's Constellation! Before we get started with the game, let's introduce ourselves. Thank you. It's me. I'm Jung. I'm a fourth-year CS major. You may know me from the hit niche game from Nava. Go download it right now. I need downloads. I am very good at video games. I don't know why that line's there. And you may know me as the treasurer, but I may be fired. I'm still not sure. No. Okay. Yeah, okay. I don't know why that's line there.
Hey guys, I'm Na. I'm a second-year transfer CA major. I'm a hypersomniac artist. I like to draw and I like to paint. I'm also a gaming red flag. I'm running on hopes and dreams right now, and Vova. I'm also the better-looking lead, respectfully. Also, please save my hands. I drew everything you saw so far.
All right, so what is Sylvie's Constellation? So think of Sylvie's Constellation as a 2D adventure game, very focused on puzzles and exploration. It's very much story-driven, so if you're into like big stories, this is a game for you. If you imagine, if you ever played Sky Children of Light or any of the Professor Layton games, it's basically a combination of both of them. So basically you have exploration throughout the world, and then you'll have puzzles or missions that you have to do when you meet constellations. So the basic mechanics are very simple. It is basically exploration and interacting with these constellations. And basically these constellations will have like problems that you solve, like our mission. So basically there's some puzzles like the constellation manipulation. Now what is that? That's basically what you saw in the trailer. Basically, recreating constellations, basically graph theory stuff. So there's also other stuff that you can also do, like orbit control, but that's more, if you want to add more stuff, that's what design is for. So if you want to be a designer, you'll basically be helping us formulate different puzzle variations, and we'll try to match that with actual constellation lore, which ties into the writing, which we'll get into later, and also new mechanics. So if you want to, have new mechanics on how Sylvie interacts with constellations, you can also do that as well.
So the story is basically following Sylvie, a baby constellation who was born from collapsing clouds of gas and dust. Basically, they learn about their ability to reconstruct and protect other constellations. They encounter much older, wiser, ancient constellations that have problems with them that Sylvie will solve. Basically, Sylvie will encounter like constellations like lovers, tricksters, and envious constellation. And on their search for their own purpose, they will help preserve the galaxy's equilibrium because these constellations are very dangerous. As for writers, if you want to join, you'll basically assist in creating a smoother storyline and help flesh out mini constellations because we will have some of those and the storylines that will correlate with them because we want them to correlate with some real-life constellations. Basically, my art inspiration is from Child of Light, Sky Children of Light, Genshin Impact, and Gris. So you can see all this art, and these Genshin Impact pictures specifically, I will elaborate more, but we're going to do things called moving pictures, so for any artists out there. Okay, I can only draw so much, guys. Jung can't draw garbage. Exhibit A, this is what he gave me as inspiration, right? This is what I returned to him. You're welcome. Basically, what's the style? Painterly, cool tones, blue, yellow contrast. I will provide a color palette and I will provide guides. What will you draw? You will draw space assets, the background, constellations, moving pictures, basically the entire game because it's 2D. If you're willing to learn, I will teach you. I beg of you.
Well, what is moving picture?
Moving picture will basically be played before a major constellation encounter. So it will be like the previous picture you saw, there will be it's like puppet animation basically. There will be like moving limbs or something moving. It's not gonna be in multiple scenes, just one picture that's animated. It looks really cinematic, it looks really pretty. Story driven, so yes.
Oh yeah, my turn. Okay, so for music, going for a very optimistic, thank you Chase, optimistic, adventurous, and yet kind of a dark vibe, but we're not really going for horror. And it's a bit like more orchestral, where you're gonna use a lot of harps, a lot of wind instruments, and especially the piano. So if you're comfortable with like melodic tracks or ambient tracks, we'll use both of them, so feel free to join us for that. But let's say you're not musically inclined, rip you. But we also have sound effects tasks, which are very much needed. We're gonna try to go for a lot of like very simple yet very like dream-esque twinkling sound effects. So if you're interested in that, join us for that. We'll be using Unity for you programmers. Basically, you'll just be focused on mainly implementing all the mechanics that the designers will plan out. So, for instance, all the systems like player, enemy AI, tools, dialogue system, scene management. Very simple stuff. And if you need help with that, or if you're like a beginner, we'll be happy to help you as well. And then there's also VFX and tech art. So there's gonna be a lot of tech art, like particle effects, lighting, shaders, other VFX. I don't know what I'm doing, but that's fine. If you have no experience, we'll get you there. That's okay. And yeah, that's very much it. So feel free to download the Discord, or not download the Discord. Scan the QR code for the Discord and the sign-up sheet. Our onboarding meeting will be tomorrow at 1 p.m. at the COC 101, if I can get the room. But yeah, thank you very much. Are there any questions? Yes. Wait, no, not you. Any other questions? Are there guns? Yes, there are guns. Wait, what? Are there guns? There might be a gun constellation. Who knows? Yes.
What are some cool ideas or mechanics that you had for different levels?
Some ideas we had was like, so if you know what Hamiltonian Eulerian graphs are, yeah, that's one concept. Maybe being limited on like what you can also recreate. So like maybe like some of the stars, like their position will be changed. Like let's say a trickster tries to ruin your constellation. Basically, you have to like stop them before they ruin the constellation. Yes.
So you're trying to do real constellations. Does that limit the scale of your puzzles, or are you gonna try to?
So since it's a game, we can mix fiction and non-fiction, right? So hear me out. There's a lot of the first constellations you saw earlier, they were on the concept art. They're the lovers constellation. They're based on the actual constellations Aquila and Lyra. Basically, canonically in lore, they have stars in them that are like lovers that are split, and so they try to connect with each other. So I like to correlate a lot of storyline, since the game is story driven. So yes, basically. Any other questions? Yes.
30 minutes, not too long, but it's how the game is gonna be developed. It's gonna be developed in like parts. So like a designer will get like their own little part of space that they can add like a constellation or other missions they want to add, and basically allows for like many designers to work on the same thing and also add their own ideas as well. So we're aiming for a good like 30-minute game. Yes. Yeah, if you ever played like the Professor Layton games, very much similar to that aspect. Yes. Yes. Voice acting. Let me know later. Come meet me later.
Come to the meeting.
Yeah, come to the meeting tomorrow. Yes. Basically, for like the main constellations, we want to kind of tell you the story of what these constellations are. Okay. So they'll be played like at the end of like completing a major mission, essentially.
Basically, an example of one of the concepts would be for like the lovers constellation. I wanted one constellation at the bottom left of the corner, reaching for the top right, and then they're gonna be moving background, stuff like that. Very pretty, right before you play their puzzle and stuff, or help them.
One last question from Twitch chat.
Yes.
Valo rank in main.
I peaked plat, but this act is horrible, guys. I'm sorry. And I play Omen. That's it.
All right, give it up for Jung and Na. Where's that music coming from? Like, I genuinely don't know where that music is coming from. Okay, I'll ignore it. Anyways, can we get one last round of applause for everybody who pitched today? Alrighty. Yeah, so I hope you guys are all excited to get started. If you missed any of the Discord / sign up QR codes, we got a bunch of them up on the screen right now. We'll keep them there. I'm going to switch to a few other slides, but we'll put these back up at the end in case you miss any. Or all the channels should now be visible in the VGDev Discord, and if they aren't, feel free to ping me because I messed up. Join it in the VGDev Discord then. Yeah. Okay. So to everybody on Twitch, thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to go ahead and sign off. And to everybody in the room, we're going to go ahead and get you guys ready for pizza. All right. Bye-bye, Twitch.